And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Antwood Movie Mania. And we are live because it is interview time. My special guest today starred in one of the worldwide phenomenons of the TV shows. And he quickly became a fan favourite, as far as I'm concerned. And he starred as the demon Clem in one of my favourite TV shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I would like to welcome to Antwood Movie Mania, James c.leary.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be here.
So, look, again, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on to my channel. I'm a massive Buffy fan. I rewatch it every year. Like my YouTube channel, like I have a ton of Buffy content on there, from season rankings to best characters quotes, the game, collectibles, everything like that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's funny. We just started a rewatch yesterday. As a matter of fact,
Oh, really?
my daughter, my 19-year-old stepdaughter, had never really seen it. Her mom watched it a lot when she was a kid, but she'd never really seen it. So we started a rewatch yesterday, and we are now on, I think, episode 3 of season 2.
Oh, all right.
Yep. Season one's. I was a huge fan of the show. It was one of my favorite TV shows when I got to work on it. So it was like a dream come true for me. But I do have to admit, season one's a bit of a slog to get through. But once season 2 hits, it is.
Oh, so my favorite season is season 1. Believe it or not. I know a lot of people don't like season 1, but for me, I just look the first 2 episodes.
They're so great. Yeah.
Yeah, they just set the bar for things to come.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that pilot episode is so great, especially with the first scene, with who at the time she was just vampire girl number 1, but who then goes on to become Darla. Just reversing that horror trope that you think, oh, dumb girl, what are you doing sneaking into this with this guy that seems a little sketch, and then it just turns it on its head, and it was like, oh, this is the show we're going to start watching. Okay, cool, I get it.
Yeah, I tried to make my son, he was like 6 at the time, trying to watch it. As soon as he seen that, he was like, turn it off. Too scary, Ted. But then again, I try to show him clips like Highlander and Jaws.
Oh yeah. Just not Highlander 2. Just don't show him anything from Highlander 2.
Oh, see, I can watch Highlander 2, but it's one
rough.
of them. Yeah, I mean, some of the things in it are pretty good, but it's just nothing will beat the original.
No
way. Like Clancy Brown is the Kurgan.
Oh, he's so great. That moment when he's got the prostitute come to see him, and she's like, oh, my name's Candy, and he's like, I know you are. It's so great.
Yeah, I just love the cat. I love it when he's in the church and he goes, "It's better to burn out than to fade away."
Fade away. He's Clancy Brown's one of my all-time favorite character actors. I love him so much.
Yeah, he was good in the Shawshank as well.
He's so good in Shawshank.
Yeah, there's just so many things. But I am interested. I know we're meant to be talking about Buffy, but I'm just and shooting, just going off topic for a second there.
Sure.
I am interested in Henry Cavill reprising. I wonder what take they're going to make on that.
Yeah, I've been interested in it too, because I know he is, for lack of a better term, he's like a super nerd. He's a huge Warhammer guy. I know he was super passionate about The Witcher, and it seems like he's very passionate about this project. So if they get the script right, I think he could be great.
Yeah, I agree too. Right, so my first question. Oh, saying that, I don't know if you would like to watch it. It's completely up to you. So like I said, I'm a massive Buffy fan. So I want, because we've had seasons 1 to 7. Oops, sorry. Sorry. We've had seasons 1 to 7, and with everything that's going on in the news at the minute, I wanted to give the fans something new to watch. So I have made a fan edited Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode.
Okay.
So how can I phrase it? I mean, I tried to put it on YouTube, but for copyright, they wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, Disney's litigious.
Yeah, so TikTok banned, not a problem.
Yeah.
So I've managed to make it 26 minutes long, and it's in 9 parts. But it's a combination of 4 episodes into one.
Oh, okay.
So you've got Welcome to the Hellmouth, The Harvest, Prophecy Girl, and The Wish.
Okay.
So the episode is 26 minutes long, but because Buffy's obviously is the main star, I haven't made her the main star in it. So she's only in it for 6 minutes. So the story is the Welcome to the Hellmouth and the Harvest all happen, like the vampires go to the bronze, and that all takes place without Buffy being there. And the master gets set free. And then we skip to 2 months later, which transforms into the Wish episode where the vampires have overtook the town. And then that introduces Buffy to like come in and try and stop the harvest.
Okay.
But then there's a twist at the end. I won't spoil it, so because I'll let you look for it and I'll let you watch it.
Yes, definitely send me the link. You have my info. Send me the link. I would love to check it out.
Yeah, I would love to do that. But the way I tried to spin it was like a darker version with it being on Giles more than anything, like doing his research on the harvest and trying to stop it his way and trying to meddle around with like loads of stuff like that. But I mean, to be fair, like I've copied it onto DVD illegally. But, but I mean,
I won't tell if you won't tell.
So for the people watching, but yeah, I had so much fun making it because, like, do you know when you've watched it that many times, you just knew where everything would fit into place.
Right.
So like, I just knew what scene to put.
Yeah, you knew where all the beats were and where the good stuff was.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why it's not like 40 odd minutes like a normal episode. I just trimmed it till so it all made sense basically.
Well, that is a true fan right there.
Yeah, but right. So my first question of the day is, how is your morning going?
My morning's going fine. It's a very cloudy, rainy, almost Englandish morning here in Texas. Although it's incredibly humid. But it's a nice little break because last week it was in the mid 90s, and we're about to hit the dog days of summer where here in Central Texas, I live just outside of Austin. It's going to be 100 degrees from here until October.
Oh my life.
So I'm personally enjoying. It rained yesterday. It's going to rain today. Hopefully it'll rain tomorrow. Plus we desperately need the rain. So it's kind of a nice little cloudy, cloudy morning. Gonna grab a cup of coffee and probably start watching more Buffy and put off doing dishes.
Same here. I mean, when it gets to like 26, 27 degrees in the UK, like around now, and everyone's just in Melt City. So,
come to Texas.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, right, I've just been to a Comic-Con this morning.
Oh wow!
Yeah, about 15 minutes away from where I live. They have it's been on like 16 years, but I've only known about it for about a year, considering I only like 20 minutes away from it. But yeah, it was like it's one of them events where it's just free to go in, so you just
that's cool.
Yeah, so you don't have to pay, but like obviously they have like all the stalls and sellers.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'll go show you what I've just bought. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I bought something, so I will show you. should have had all this. I wasn't prepared to do this, but I will do it.
Why not?
So I've bought myself, because speaking of Jaws,
Ah,
the 50th anniversary quint necklace.
that is awesome. I love it. I love it.
And I got, as well, as part of the set, Hooper.
Oh, the Hooper. Oh, that's great. Well, we're excited because it's I don't know if it is in the UK, but it is going to be re-released in theaters at I think the middle to end of August here in the States for like a short limited run, and I can't wait to see it in the theater. I've seen it once in the theater a couple of years ago. You know, they'll always do special viewings at like certain theaters, so got to see it on the big screen. And for someone who grew up with that as a kid, seeing it on Sunday night movie TV, uh, watching it, my mother made questionable decisions letting a 6-year-old watch that, and it has given me a lifelong fear of sharks. Like I'm even afraid of getting attacked by a shark in a swimming pool. But I love the movie. I think the movie is fantastic. Every time I watch it, I pick up something new. So I'm excited to take my kids. My eldest is 25 and my daughter's 19, and then my youngest is 17. So I really want to take them to go see it like on the big screen. Like it just the impact, watching it on your TV at home is great, but just seeing it on that big screen, it's just something else.
Yeah, just hits it. Yeah, I went to see it when it came out for a limited run like a couple of years ago, and I've seen it I don't know how many times, but like just seeing it on the big screen, it just hits differently.
Yeah, like that the chase scene where they're going after, trying to get the barrels into it, and Hooper's trying to tie the knots, and the John Williams score is swelling, and it's like that scene is so, like on the big screen. There's nothing else. I was like, wow, that is Spielberg at like almost the height of Spielberg.
Yeah, I actually watched Police Academy 5 yesterday, and where they're at Miami, and the little kid swims out on the little life raft, and the shark comes out, and Tackleberry is like out with his gun.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm dying to edit it and say this is how they should have made Jaws. This is how Kittner could have survived Jaws.
That'd have been funny.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it, and then I'd seen it. I was like, oh, fully Sheriff Brody was that brave. I was like, anyway, right. So, right, we'll get back to the question.
Sure.
Right. So, how young were you when you realized that you wanted to be an actor?
Oh my gosh. I would say
We'll go back 10 years. We'll just you're that young. We'll go back 10 years.
Yeah. I wish I was that young. No, when I didn't know what it was that it was called. But I went and saw Star Wars as a kid, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. Those were the movies that had such huge impacts on me, as well as a bunch of, it was the early 80s and parents weren't as hovery as they are now. So my mom would want to go shopping, and she'd just go buy me a ticket to whatever movie was playing and say, I'll see you in 2 hours. Beastmaster, Clash of the Titans. God, she took me to see Conan the Barbarian when I was like 7. It was like, that's a questionable decision. I didn't know what it was called, but I was like, I want to do that. That looks awesome. And then while other kids were playing kickball or dodgeball or baseball or whatever out on the playground, I wanted to get all my friends to go pretend the jungle gym was the Millennium Falcon for recess. So when I got into 8th grade was the first time I could take like a theater class, and once I did that, that was it. First time I ever took a stage. I think I was 13. and was able to make an audience laugh, I was like, oh, that's a good drug. I like that. I think I want to do this. So that was kind of it afterwards. I did theater all through high school. Took a few years off in college to get the real degree, and then uh, fell in with a group of theater kids in college, started an improv group, but then that was it. Went to Chicago, went to LA, kind of pretty much retired now. I'll do theater and improv and stuff here, but yeah, I was 6, 7 when I realized that that's what I wanted to do.
That was going to be my next question. Is acting something you've always wanted to do, or did you have another career in mind?
Well, when I was super little, I wanted to be a fireman. My my grandfather, who I grew up with, um, he was a New York City fireman for 35 years, like in Lower Manhattan. So
You did work in the Ghostbusters
yeah,
fire.
I'm sure he knew where it was. Um, yeah, no. See, he was in like Lower Manhattan, so it was one of the busiest. He worked for Ladder 3. It was one of the busiest ladder companies in Lower Manhattan. So he always had, as a kid, he had his old helmets, and he would let me wear them, and I would run around the house with these giant boots and this big helmet on. And there was a show on at the time called I think it was called Emergency or Emergency 911, but I think it was just called Emergency. So I had the fake like air tank and mask, and I had a fake defibrillator, and so when I was super little, that's what I wanted to be, was a fireman. And maybe given another twist of fate, I would have been.
So how hard is it to make it as an actor? Because I imagine a lot of young and upcoming people just think, "I'll just get a job like that." Is that the case?
Well, that can happen for some people. It's very rare. No, it's a really competitive, tough business, and it's only gotten more and more competitive as time and technology have progressed. Like what it was like when I started professionally back in Chicago back in like the mid '90s. And when I first moved to LA in like '98, compared to what it is now, I wouldn't even have any real advice, because everything has changed so dramatically because of technology. Um, it is a tough industry, and when you see someone like a Pedro Pascal kind of be like, oh my God, this guy just exploded out of nowhere. No, you realize he's been doing it for 15 years,
Yeah,
and been slogging away and doing guest spots and commercials, and just trying to piece together a living. But if it's something that you truly love and dedicate yourself to it, then yeah, go for it. And now, because the barrier of entry with things like TikTok and YouTube and uh, Instagram and all the other stuff that I don't fully understand,
yeah,
the barrier of entry is so low. It's like it used to be. If you wanted to go make a short film back in, say, 1997, you had to go buy film. You had to like get together enough money to rent an expensive camera and buy film and pay for processing, and so it was expensive. But now, I mean, you can shoot something amazing on this. You can get a little $25 Steadicam thing for this, and it looks incredible. And you can make your own content and build your own audience. And if I had any advice to give any young actor or aspiring artist or anything like that, is don't wait for them. Make them come to you. Go, if you have a desire to do it, go do it. You have the technology now, and it's cheap, relatively. And you can make stuff that looks really good. The difference is the flip side to that is, now that the barrier of entry is so low, the market's flooded. There's so much stuff. So
yeah,
you have to make sure your stuff stands out somehow.
yeah. I agree. Right now, I would like to talk to you about Buffy. This is what I am
Let's
excited.
do it. I love talking about Buffy.
Right. So, Buffy was and still is a worldwide fan favorite show. There's no denying the fan support behind it. It's
It's
just
crazy. I can't believe like 20 I did the show for the first time in 2001. 24 years later, people are still interested in talking one to me. But yeah, the show, like the fact that it's still got, when I do conventions and stuff, like it's still the fan base is so incredible, and that the show has meant so much to people over now several generations.
I know I was telling my friend at work, because she's like a big Buffy fan as well. That when I said I was doing this interview, she was like, "Oh my god, he's my favorite character."
Oh, we'll tell her thank you.
So, Faye, if you're watching, this one's for you. I'll give you a little shout out. There you go,
What's her name?
Faye.
Faye. Hi, Faye. Thank you for being a fan. You're the best.
You owe me one, Faye. Right, obviously, what do you know? What before we talk about the series, what do you think about the film?
Here's one of the funny things. I remember seeing that in the theaters. I remember when it came out. I kind of liked it. I had a fun time watching it. I knew all the people who were in it. Some of them were kind of big stars at the time, like Luke Perry and Christy Swanson, and of course Donald Sutherland. And I loved Rutger Hauer. Like Rutger Hauer is a big bet. Like I'm in, yeah. And then what really made it for me, at one, I like camp. I understood what it was going for. I know Joss wasn't particularly happy with maybe how it turned out. Uh, but I can appreciate it for what it was, and as a standalone, I find it kind of funny. And I especially love Paul Rubens in it.
What the?
His death scene. I love comedy like that. Like that kind, like when you take a joke and like beat it into the ground, resurrect it, then beat it into the ground again. I love that. So I actually really enjoy the film. I know it can be a little polarizing for people, but I like the movie. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like pretty much rewatch it every year because it's just one of them films where it's got that dark tone, but with a
Mm-hmm.
comedy element to it. Pretty much like the series itself.
Absolutely.
But
yeah. You can see where the germ of the series is going to come from.
Yeah, but that's all we had though. When that film came out, we had to wait 5 years for the series.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, like,
I remember I know he tried hard, and then he got, he did that, and then I think maybe Toy Story came out, and so he got a lot of cred for Toy Story, and so it allowed him to be able to go do some other stuff, and I think it was one of the first things he pitched. And the Kazooies, who owned the rights, who you see at the end of every episode, allowed him to do it, but yet do it his way. And I remember I was living in Chicago at the time, and the casting call went out for every young ingenue female. Every actress I knew in Chicago was was putting themselves on back on when you put yourself on tape, actual videotape, and sent it in. And I remember hearing about it, going, I don't know if that's gonna. I'm not so sure that's gonna work, but I guess we'll see. And then when it came out, I caught a few episodes. I was like, this is okay. All right, fine. And then by the last few episodes of season one, I was like, oh wow, okay. This is pretty cool. And then once season two hit, and especially when Spike and Drusilla showed up,
yeah,
and I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm sure everyone has seen it 100 times, but when the twist happens, in like maybe halfway through season two, when that twist happens, the big twist, I was like, whoa, this is something completely different. And from that point forward, I was hooked. I watched every week.
Yeah. Right. So as popular as the show was at the time, how did the role of Clem come about? Like, how did you hear about it? Like,
Sure. So, I like I said, I was a big fan of the show. So it was when I moved to LA, it was one of the like top 5 shows I wanted to work on, and was the only one of those shows I ended up working on. Um, uh, but I had met one of the casting assistants. Her name is Lonnie Hammerman. I had met her during doing a workshop. It's basically where you get to meet casting directors and you do scenes. And she had given me a scene from Buffy to read, and I actually got to play Spike in the scene, um, which was kind of fun to do. Um, and She thought I was funny, and so she uh, brought me. Normally, when you audition, they'll send out a casting breakdown. Your agent will see it. They'll submit you. You have to go in for a first read. They'll put you on tape. Then maybe you'll do a callback, and then after that, you move forward. Well, she brought me right to producers. Um, she let me skip all those first parts, and it was only supposed to be. It was originally only called the loose skinned demon in the poker scene. She brought it had maybe 5-6 lines, and she brought me right to producers, um, which was awesome. Because as coming from a theater and improv background, when there's an audience, I tend to do better. Um, and I knew the show so well, and that oftentimes the demons could be more human than the humans. And so I didn't try to play it like a demon. I just tried to play it normal and to try to find as many laughs as I could in every single line. And the room was laughing. And, I was in there for maybe 5 minutes. They had me read it once. They laughed. I was out. And sometimes you just have those feelings, those intuitions, and you never want to jinx yourself. But when I left that audition, I was like, I think I might have a shot at getting this. But you don't ever want to let your hopes get up, because Hollywood is the land of broken dreams and hopes. On a daily basis, you get told no. Um, uh, and then like 2 or 3 days later, I got the call that I got the part.
wow.
And it was only supposed to be that one episode. Um, but after it aired, people really kind of connected with the character. So, fans responded to it well. And as you know, season 6 is a pretty dark season,
Uh,
and they kept calling me back, I think, for comedic relief as a way to release tension.
mm.
So I really lucked out. They just kept calling, and I was like, yeah, I'll come back. Sure, 100%. I had a great
Oh,
time.
so you were only penned in for one episode. Is
Yep.
that right?
Yep. I didn't even have a name. They didn't give me a name until I think it's Life Serial, which is the one where we're trapped in the house. I think it's Life Serial.
On,
Or
it's
older.
the birthday party.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one where Dawn makes a wish and they all get
Yeah,
the oh, what's
the
her name?
Benjamin.
Yeah, and she
Alfred.
traps them. She traps them all in the house. They can't get out.
Alfred.
Halfrick. Yes. Um, I keep thinking of the actress's name, Halfrick. They called me back for that episode, and I got to work for a whole week, instead of just one day, and kind of got to work with the majority of the main cast.
Yeah.
And then they just, as once I became Spike's buddy, they just kept bringing me back, and then babysitting Dawn, and so yeah, it was they just kept calling me back. So it was really kind of, I was only supposed to be in one episode.
So the episodes that you were in, like, how long did it take to make like an episode?
So typically a shoot, like on an hour long like that, at least back in the day, I don't know what it is these days, especially when like Netflix and stuff, you don't have to build in commercial breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it would typically shoot 8 days. It would take 8 days to shoot an episode. Um, So you'd shoot like Monday through Friday, and then pick back up Monday, and then start the whole process over.
Hmm.
Um, so I only did 2 episodes where I shot for all 8 days. One was the one where we were stuck in the house, and the other one was the wedding episode. I shot for all 8 days on those, and then the rest of the time they would usually shoot me out in a day.
All right. Okay. Hmm. Um. Now that you came, Clem, how long did it take to put on all the prosthetics?
It usually took, I would say sometimes between 2.5 to 3 hours, just depending on the morning. But they could get it down to about two. Towards the end, they were able to figure out some tricks and get it down to about 2 hours. I think the first time we did it, it took like 3.5, 4, just because they were figuring out how the appliances all worked. But yeah, so it was, I would say on average about 2.5.
What do you do while you just sat there? Like, what?
You gossip with the makeup people. You'll occasionally watch TV. You listen to music. What we listened to the first Tenacious D album. Um,
Tenacious
uh,
D.
but mostly for me, I had a great the first few episodes I did. I had a great makeup artist named Wesley Woford, and he had worked with. If it wasn't Rick Baker, who's the other big special effects makeup person? I think it might have been Rick Baker. I don't think it was Stan Winston. I think it was Rick Baker. I could be wrong, Wesley. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. But he had worked for him. He had like apprenticed under him, so I would just let him tell stories because he worked on Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. He worked on you know all these different phenomenal movies, and I would just like, what was that like? And so I would just, you basically just you talk to each other, and you find out about everybody's families, and you get jealous as you watch all the other actors go in for 15-20 minutes to get their beauty makeup done, and then they're out the door getting a you're still stuck in the chair. um but yeah, it's you build relationships with those people, and you just you chat and try to pass the time, as because this was before the age of just being able to sit and do this the whole time.
Yeah,
But I think that made it kind of a bit more interesting because you got to actually talk and know people.
yeah. Um, when you were in Spike's crypt and Spike left, so you got to take over that crypt. Did you try and make it a bit more Clem than a Spike?
Well, I don't know if I could have. That's usually set dressing and props department. They don't tend to like it when actors uh you know
Dig at their
horn,
own.
horn in on their jobs. I think they did a really good job of kind of clemming it up with the snacks and the wanting to watch movies and that type of stuff. But as far as any little touches I made, I was like, I'm just the actor. I'm not touching anything.
In Sunnydale, like obviously it's on a lot, but how big
Mhm.
are the actual sets?
So it was a weird kind of lot. So it used to be it was out in Santa Monica. It was its own thing. It wasn't like Angel shot on Paramount. Um, Buffy shot on its own special little piece of land in this area of Santa Monica, and it used to be like two industrial warehouses, or and years before they had converted it into like a studio. I think they shot that one of those volcano movies there with I think like Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, well, yeah.
Um, yeah. So there were two big like warehouses that they turned into the sets. So one would have by the time I got there, the high school set had been removed. So it was mostly one set had the inside of the Summers house,
Mm.
Spike's crypt, the bronze, and then they had a little back street area which was that they used as Sunnydale. Like they could put different angles on it to make
Mm.
it look like different streets, but and set dress it differently. But it was all one street. So they put that there. It was its own contained thing, which was pretty cool. And there was a little patch of grass that oftentimes they would set dress and use if they put that camera in the right angle, they would use that as the cemetery. But it
Yeah,
was just this little patch of grass
yeah,
that they would
that is
fit
more
bones
noticeable.
in.
Yeah, whenever you see him in the cemetery, like it's like, how small is that cemetery?
Yeah, exactly. Well, because it's easier and you're more controlled than having to go out on location. I think I went on location twice. Once was for the very end of the episode where we're coming out of the house, and it's literally one exterior shot. Um, because that house, when they shot the pilot, was the actual house. It's an actual house.
Mm.
And then they recreated that interiorly for inside for a set, but sometimes when you needed the exterior, they would actually have to go to that house. And it was funny. I sat in 3 hours of makeup, um, waited around for like 2 hours, and then literally did 3 takes and went home.
Oh God. Oh.
And then when we shot the wedding episode, that entire sequence was shot at a big, like, it wasn't a VFW hall, but kind of something similar to that, like a huge, big old. It was shot in Altadena, this whole big, like, fancy place. So we were on location for that, but most of the time we were on set.
Mm. My next question is: did you take anything from the show?
No, I wish I had.
Oh, is this an
They were pretty.
exclusive?
They were pretty. They were pretty stringent. Fox at the time wasn't letting anybody take anything. I think if I could have taken anything, I'm trying to think. The makeup was so weird. Even if I had kept the ears, they'd be disintegrated by now. Just because of the way that stuff degrades. I may have wanted to take like Clem's little duster kind of thing that he had. But that would have been it. Unfortunately, when they take the makeup off of you, it what they have to use to take it off destroys it.
Oh.
But I would have loved to have kept a Clem mask or something like that. But they have to call something isopropyl murostate, and it just, for latex, it just melts it.
Do you know what? The one thing I would have loved to have is the vampire book in episode 1.
Yes, that would have been very cool. I think they auctioned that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 20th Century Fox. They don't own it anymore, so I guess I can say whatever I want. They auctioned off tons of stuff when the show was canceled.
Oh, I wish I knew that.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want is the toy library set.
Yeah.
But that is a fortune to buy. So it's just one of them things that I had, like, so I had to come by on the cheap.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the cool things I do have though is I was invited to the series wrap party, and it was a huge big deal, and I have it on my mantle. I should have brought it, but they sent us this. So the invitation came with this really big, like, gothic looking candle that had the Buffy logo in black around it, and it said Buffy the Vampire Slayer, wrap party, such and such date. And then it had an invitation with it, but I still have that candle.
Oh, wow.
And I've only burned it once, and that's because my wife is a little witchy, and she said you never have an unburned candle. So we lit it for a few minutes and then left it be. But it's only been burned once, and then it's now just it's really my most important keepsake from the show. I had kept a bunch of like sides and scripts and stuff, and I still think I may have one or two, but at some point I was being dumb and I threw a bunch of it out.
Oh, oh
I know.
no.
I wish I still had my little sides. Like I wish I'd kept all those.
Oh. Do you know what? The one thing I would love to see happen, I know it might never, but do you know how like HBO Max are doing all these recreation sets like Friends and the Fresh Prince?
Yes.
I would love just like the library, the graveyard, Spike's
Hmm.
crypt, you know, like the house,
The
all like
bronze.
yeah, the bronze, yeah, all next to each other. Like that would be something where like open to the fans to go.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see, what they decide to recreate for the reboot.
Oh, that's one of my next couple of questions coming up. So, right, sadly, right. My next question is a bit thingy. Sadly, this year we lost
Yeah.
Michelle Trachtenberg, which I think was a bit of a shock for everyone
Yeah.
when the news broke. Now you got to act like in a lot of scenes
Hmm.
alongside her.
Hmm.
What was it like working with her?
She was delightful. She was such a young kid at the time. I think she was maybe 16. When I was working with her, she was she was already a seasoned professional by the time she was doing Buffy, but she was delightful. She was so much fun. Um, she was really smart, very very witty, always really prepared. Um, you know, and she was really fun to work with. She gave you a lot, and I really enjoyed my time with her. Because other than Spike, she's who I did the majority of my scenes with. So, um, I hadn't seen her, gosh, in 20 years, maybe 15, 10, 20 years. But when I heard the news, it was really sad.
Yeah, it was but yeah, it was like you said there, it was great to see like the chemistry between you just working off each other. So that brighter moments in Buffy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was really fun, and it hit me, like I said, because I hadn't seen her in a long time, but it hit me. I might tear up now.
well, please don't. I didn't mean to
No,
upset
it's okay. No, hey, it's fine. But yeah, I am. It was really sad, and my heart always goes out to her family, and of course all the fans. But yeah, no, she was great. I adored working with her.
you. Yeah, right. Even though you were in a set amount of episodes, you quickly became a fan favorite. There's no question about it. Are you happy to this day that fans are still loving Clem?
It's crazy to me. I mean, it's really mind-boggling. When I think about it, that yeah, this I only did 8 episodes, and I was this silly little character. Um, and for whatever reason, it resonated with the fans. So, yeah, for it to be 24 years later, still here, still talking about things, still doing stuff like doing the Audible thing 2 years ago. Uh, it's really meant a lot to me, because I never expected it. Um, it honestly, it changed my life. It allowed me to see parts of see the world, to meet fans everywhere from Australia to London, Paris, all over the United States, Canada, Mexico, and just to be able to meet the fans and to see how important the show is to them as an actor. um you know at least for me, one of the reasons why I got into acting, other than wanting to pretend and it's fun, and it's in August in Texas, um is you want to affect people, you want to make them feel something. And you know if I could, some little thing that I did 20 years ago help someone get through a bad day, that's what more could you ask for?
Yes, that's true. To brighten up someone's day. So the last we see of Clem leaving Sunnydale during the apocalypse,
Yep.
Your character was brought back for Slay's The Audible
Yeah.
series. What was like? Who got in touch with you about that? Like, bring it back?
Yeah. So over the years doing conventions, because when the show first went off the air, like the convention circuit was nuts. I think the
Yeah.
first year I started doing them, I did like 14 in 1 year. Um, and my first one ever was San Diego Comic-Con, which
Oh,
is if I'm not going to be too crude, is like losing your virginity to a porn star. Um, um, but through that, I got to meet cast members that I never. A lot of cast members that I never worked with, and we kind of became this weird little traveling troupe of almost
mm.
circus performers, flying around, wreaking havoc, and then leaving. Especially back in those days. I got to know Amber Benson really well. I had worked with her a little bit on the show, but she had also cast me in a movie she did. So I knew Amber really well. And then through doing conventions, I met Christopher Golden. And we got to be very, very good friends over the years. And they just Chris emailed me out of the blue one day and was like, "Hey, man, we got this thing we're working on. Would you be interested in it's going to be for Audible, and would you be interested in being Clem?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, anything for you guys." Because they're amazing people, and I just thought they were going to give me maybe a couple of lines, and I'd be in and out and done. And then, as it turns out, they basically turned me into one of the main characters. So that's how all that came about. It was it's one of those things that you never know what's going to happen. And it really kind of just fell in my lap. And I was so happy to do it for them. The writing was so good. And again, even if they'd asked me to do one line, I would have done it for them.
Oh, well, that's good to know. But right, with the news that there is a reboot happening, is there any news on Clem coming back?
I don't have any yet. This happened like the last 2 days, 3 days. I made what I thought was going to be an innocuous Instagram post just about, um, reflecting about my time on the show and how I was very thankful and it was great, and hearing about the reboot. But I know how Hollywood works. Would I like to come back? Yes. Do I think they'll call me? No. But I just wanted to say thank you to the fans and, for making this so magical. And there was just an Instagram post. I didn't expect anyone to see it. Most of my posts get 100 likes. I got like 6,000 followers. I'm not an influencer. I'm not something big. I don't post a lot. And the next thing I know, I get a text from Charisma Carpenter going, "Hey, have you seen this? Check this out." And it was CBR, like Comic Book News, had done a whole article on it. And then I look again, and Screen Rant did a thing. And then someone else, I forget the other one, a third one did a thing. The last one did mention my age. And I was like, "Would you have to mention my age, guys?" But so it kind of took off, and it got this like outpouring of support. So I haven't gotten any phone calls or messages. Who knows?
Well,
I would love to. If they asked, I would come back. Um, uh, I'd have some new contract stipulations. But I would come back. I would love to reprise the role, but those things are out of my hands. If they call, I'd love it, but I don't have any, uh, pipe dreams or I wouldn't say aspirations, but we'll see what happens. Who knows?
do you know the one thing I've noticed with all the Buffy merch out there, there isn't a Clem figure.
I know. They've never done one, which is weird. Maybe it's because it's too tough to do.
Well, when there's
It'd be
custom made toys, get it done.
too expensive to put all the little folds in. Be afraid the ears would break off.
I'll have to if I ever find a 3D printer like who makes them, I'll get it.
Someone has made, people have attempted to make them in the past. I've gotten a lot of like stuffed Clem things over the years. I've gotten an inordinate amount of stuffed kitten toys. That seems to be the one thing that really enjoy bringing to me. Even though I will let you know, Clem is reformed. He no longer eats kittens. He's been kitten free for 20 years. So he just picked up his kitten chip. So he no longer eats kittens. But yeah, I was hoping, was really hoping that when they did that Funko run, that they would do a Clem Funko, because I thought that would be fun, but I guess they didn't.
Well, it's a shame. But we never know. We can hope. We can hope.
We can always hope. You never know what life is going to bring, and this industry is so weird. And with them bringing back so many different things, who knows?
Well, look, that's it. That's all my questions done. And
okay.
Look, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. It means a lot when anyone wants to come on and just shoot the breeze with me, especially on a show that I love.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, hey, it's a show I love too, and again, not just because I was on it, but because I was a fan and am a fan of the show. I love talking the show, and as you can probably tell, as we discussed very early on, I'm a huge movie buff, movie nerd. I'll shoot the shit about movies or TV shows or anything all day long.
Well, look.
I cursed. I'm sorry. I hope that was okay.
Oh, good to shit.
Okay.
But look, thank you so much for coming on. Again, you don't know what it means.
It's been my pleasure. Absolutely.
People do want to come on and shoot the breeze with me. Like, I'm not a big fan of getting if I can hit 100 views, I am happy. I'm a happy man. I don't go for reaching the skies like thousands. Yeah. If I can get 100, I'm happy.
Perfect.
But look, if you ever want to come back on here and just talk about anything again, I'm more than happy to have you on here. You are
sure. Well, we'll try to figure out something else. Maybe when Joss comes out or something else. You know how to get a hold of me now, so we'll see if we can do it. But this was an absolute pleasure, and I want to thank you for inviting me on. Again, I'm just a regular guy now. I don't consider myself anything special, so anytime I get invited to go do something, it's always a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. If you do want to, well, I'll send you the link. But do you have TikTok? Is it TikTok or not have TikTok?
My wife and children do. I'm becoming an old curmudgeon. I'm an aging Gen Xer yelling at the sky.
Yeah,
yelling at. I will not be on TikTokies. Mostly because I'm afraid I will get sucked into it as if it is heroin mixed with methamphetamines, and you will never get me out of it.
Well, I will. Since you said your wife has TikTok, I will message you my TikTok name.
Oh yeah, please do. Yes. We would love that. I'll make sure to get it on her phone.
Yeah, I'm not because like I said, I'm not tech savvy, so I don't know how to send TikTok to Messenger, and the videos are too long to send separately.
Yeah, perfect.
But my TikTok's Antwood87. But I'll message you. I'll sort that out so you don't forget.
I'll my memory's horrible these days, so just
I'll send it over so I don't forget either.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, this was an absolute delight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you again. Like I said, you're more than welcome to come back on anytime you want, and I will see you whenever.
I guess we'll see you when we see each other. All right. It was great to meet you. Thank you everybody for watching. And this is Clem saying ta-ta for now and keep rocking.
Thank you so much. Goodbye. And there we have it. That was James C.Leary. as Clem from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, my favourite TV show of all time. I've just had an amazing chat with him. Thank you for everyone who has watched or who is going to watch this live stream. And as always, I am Antwood Movie Mania. Please leave your likes and comments, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.